What's going on? Anybody out there still awake? Hey, Cha Cha. How's it going, Cha Cha? Gen X, welcome in. You guys getting any storms over there in Indiana? Uh, I just figured I'd do a late night chat, see who's still up, and go from there. So there you go, Teresa. Welcome in. Gen X says, "Yep, not bad. Where I'm at, but other places got it pretty good." Yeah, it looks like it's gonna totally miss us. So Cha Cha, I got it out of the box. I got the oil in the pump. I'm waiting to either build a stand for it or buy one before I hook it up. Because if I'm moving it around, obviously you got to wait to let it settle or whatever. So I'm just gonna wait until I get the stand, um, and then figure out where I'm gonna put it at. So we'll see. J3 GS Farms, how's it going? Welcome in. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at the weather report. It says we're supposed to be um getting hit, but the way the radar is looking, it looks like it's going to go right around us. So I'm not upset about it by any means. Hey, Grace, welcome in. Yeah, it's a pretty bad storm. I mean, it goes all the way down to Arkansas. Well, it's in Texas. The end of it is in Texas. It goes all the way up through the Midwest, all the way up into Canada. So it's a pretty big storm. KP, welcome in. Yeah, treat or Cha Cha. I'm gonna wait until I figure out what I'm doing at the stand, um, or if I'm gonna buy one or make it, and then where the final destination is gonna be. Are they pretty loud when you're freeze drying stuff? Or is it something I need to have away from, not bugging us or what? If anybody doesn't know what we're talking about the freeze dryer. So I finally got mine out of the box, and yeah, a bit loud. Okay, well maybe I'll put it in the back room or something like that. Um, Now, does it get hot as far as like does it put out a lot of heat? Well, that's good. Grit and grace, no tornadoes. That's good. Texas Raider 1122, welcome in. Yeah, it was crazy. It was in the low 50s, and then it jumped up. I don't know, probably 10, 15 degrees. Now it's slowly going back down, but it's still 57 degrees here at 10:30. So, welcome in, Grit and Grace. Good to see you. But yeah, the storm is looks like it's a pretty big storm, and I've seen where it's caused tornadoes through its path. So, hope everybody stays safe. If you're in the path of the storm, So everybody's saying hello to each other. No real topic here tonight. Just whatever you guys want to talk about. I know I'm getting excited about my garden. Um, I got all my plants, all my seeds growing. So kiss off. Welcome in. Welcome in. Good to see you. I got pretty good germination rate. Uh, so just a couple things that I was disappointed that have not popped up, and that's my jalapeno peppers and my banana peppers. But other than that, everything is good. Hey, Jennifer Ocean Homestead, welcome in. Tactical Muffin Top, welcome in. Good to see you. But yeah, other than that, everything is going good. Like I said on my live on Monday, um, when I planted my seeds prior to going on my trip, I got back and like I said, my beans are 2-3 inches tall already. It was crazy. I could not believe it. But all my tomatoes are sprouted, and most everything else, my cabbage, my cauliflower, my cucumbers are all doing good. So, Old Mutt, welcome in, welcome in. Good to see you. Chacha says I got 3 raised beds put together finally. Awesome. That's good to go. Probably 8 years ago, I put my first 2 raised beds in. It was my only garden for that year. Moonsprout, I'm glad you came in. I wanted to talk to you about something real quick, but let me finish my story here. So I bought these 2 4 foot by 8 foot cedar um, beds, raised beds, and I went and picked them up and put the dirt in them. And I wish I would have moved them or put them somewhere different. But anyways, I ended up turning them. I had vegetables in it for the first couple of years, and then I didn't leave enough space on the back side towards the fence, and so kind of was made a bad spot decision. So, but anyways, I ended up turning them into strawberry patches, and the last 5 years they just kept getting better and better. So, um, yeah, that's what they are now. So, yes, um, I I don't know. I got it on Amazon. Let me see if I can pull it up. It freaking works awesome. Um, let me see here. Orders. That's not it. Tomato. Help if I could spell. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see here. All right. I'm going to share this. Share screen. Amazon. Share. All right. So this is what I was talking about, Moonsprout. So it's a plant taper So and it has actual staples on it, but I tie it basically instead of using zip ties or whatnot. I just take this, and you can see here where the red is. Comes That's just a plastic tape, and you put it around the stem of the plant and the pole that you're growing your tomatoes on. Yep. Okay. Oh, Michigan said he got one for his tomato plants. Yes, it works amazing. And after the season's done, you just collect them all and throw them away. So that is what I was talking about, and it works great. Yes, ribbon, exactly. Grant Gray says I use the clips too. Okay. Yeah, I've seen the clips you can put around the tomato plants and stuff. So this just makes it, because I do this with anything that starts growing uh, that I have, like even my pepper plants. I do it that way they're not leaning, because I got these pretty solid. I don't know. They're probably maybe an inch and a half, 2 inch Miracle Grow fiberglass poles that I got from Ollie's. Um, they they're pretty solid, and I've had no issues with them, and it makes it easy with that stapler, or the tapper that I was showed you guys. And man, it helps the tomatoes out so much, because they're not blowing over, they're not bending over. So um yeah, I'm glad that you came in tonight, because I wanted to show you that moon sprout. So, and on Amazon it was only $12.73. So it's good to help, like Michigan Outpost says, helps reinforcing it. Yep, absolutely. And you can buy the extra ribbon and whatnot and the staples. Um, so I trellis mine with cattle panels. So this year, behind my garage is your typical 24 by 20. I think it's 24 by 22. Um, I have a 24 by 8 foot garden behind my garage, and it's done great, but I'm tired of having to deal with all the weeds and stuff. So I'm gonna do the raised beds, and in between the raised beds, I'm gonna use that cattle panel, and that's where I'm gonna do my cucumbers. It gets sun from the time the sun comes up to the time the sun goes down. So um, I'm gonna try some different things. Welcome in, Rabid, Bad Bobber. Good evening. So anybody else I miss, I apologize. Let me go up in the chat just to make sure. Seen you in there, talked to you about your Michigan Outpost, but welcome in. Um, Hope the snow's done for you. But anyways, yeah. So just those little tools like that help out so much, and it saves you from having to do other things once the plants start growing. And you can, as it grows, you can just staple it up even higher, and it works out great. So, but no, I got to put in. I'm gonna probably put in 4 or 5 raised beds. What's going on, Ace? All the misfits. Welcome in, Oops. Good to see you. But yeah, it well, Moonsprout, that's exactly why I did what I did. Because my tomato plants a couple years ago grew so freaking fast that I went away for like a week on vacation, and I came back, and it was just the whole raised bed was one gigantic tomato mess. I mean, they grew so fast that they all started growing together, and it's just like I'm never gonna have that again. Let's see, Sister Marie, sneak in here. Yeah, welcome in, Sister Marie. But yeah, so I've learned that spacing is good, and when they recommend the spacing, to adhere to it. But again, I was new at gardening, and I wanted to get as much in my raised bed as I could. So that's why I expanded my gardening area, and that's why I did my 5 gallon buckets, and everything worked out good. Old Mutt says, outstanding to see preppers that talk the talk and walk the walk when it comes to gardening. You know, I don't claim to know everything about anything. You know, I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none, and but I like it that way. I know I made a comment on Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival when he showed his video about his lug nuts um, were loose on his tire, which was scary. Um, but my comment on his video was that's one of the reasons why I try to do as much mechanical work on my vehicles as I can because one, I've had things in the past like I had a car that I took in for an oil change. The sign said 1999 for this was years and years ago. 1999 Valvoline oil change. So I take it in and $20 couldn't beat it. Well, they have this big glass window in between the waiting room and the shop, and I was watching them working on my vehicle. And sorry, Chacha, I know I'm talking about cars. Um, but anyways, normally on that you would see them pull down the hose and fill it with the gun, and they didn't. They had these black oil pints, and I know that Valvoline don't make black containers. So I asked the kid to bring me one of those containers. Here it was some off-brand cheap oil. And make a long story short, I told him I wasn't paying for it. And there was an Advance Auto right behind the store. I'm like, you guys could. They said they ran out. I said, well, you could have went over there and you could have bought it and taken the hit on it. But yet you wanted to lie and steal my money, saying that it was a Valvoline oil and it wasn't. So that is why I do my own oil changes, my own brakes, anything that I can do, I do it myself. And a lot of it I've learned off of YouTube. And the same thing with gardening, um, trying to grow as organically as possible. Um, I don't use any chemicals that I buy from anything. I'll buy like natural calcium or anything like that, but it's not anything not natural. So I'm not putting Miracle Grow and all that kind of stuff on it. And you know, if people do that, that's their own. But I don't like that. So Ace says I don't trust those quick change places. No, it's a scam. So, but yes, there are a bunch of great gardening channels on YouTube. You know, and just there's a lot of great content creators on anything that you need. And I'm so glad that I got into it. YouTube, not necessarily just doing the content, but also watching stuff because I've learned so much. You can everybody knows this because everybody's on YouTube. You can type in the search bar and you can find anything about anything. So poverty made me a home mechanic. Laugh out loud. Yep, absolutely. Well, you know, I enjoy getting my hands dirty. You know, I'm not afraid to do the work. So um, why pay like an oil change? It's a 15 uh, millimeter socket on most cars, and you know you drain the oil, put the plug back in, you put the change the filter out, you put the new oil in. It's not rocket scientist. Um, and I'm confident enough to work on my vehicles like the brakes and I on my last truck and this will be it, Cha Cha. I'll be done talking vehicles. Um, my CV axle went out on my Dodge Ram, and they wanted an astronomical amount of money to fix it. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it myself. So I took it over to my buddy's house, and he has a truck lift, and put it up on the truck lift, and I fixed it. Well, while I had it up, and you have to do all this other stuff to get to there. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna. So I ended up replacing the whole front end, the whole suspension, and I did it. I've never been trained on anything. I did it, and I ended up taking it to get aligned, and I meticulously about everything. Like I'm using a torque wrench to make sure all the nuts are torqued the proper um, torque and everything. Which again is, YouTube helps out, and then the internet obviously as well. So okay, I'm done. I'm done talking about cars. So let's see what we got going in the chat. I got carried away with it, even rebuilt engines, and okay, I can't talk about cars no more. uh, not only firms. Well, exactly. You got to educate yourself, and that's why I don't just go to one YouTube channel. I don't just look at one website. I watch multiple YouTube vehicle. Geez, please, multiple YouTube videos about whatever I'm doing. So, um, but yeah, YouTube is great on getting knowledge. So, but yeah, the weather's starting to turn around. It sucks. It's not 80 degrees like I had the last week, and yeah, it was a good time, nice, relaxing, stressless time, and my sleep was good, which I've had issues with sleeping, um, and so I'm trying not to stay up late. Obviously, I'm doing a late night live now, but I need to get into a um, different routine instead of staying up until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and then sleeping in until 9, 10 o'clock. I need to start getting which I was doing before vacation or my relaxing time. I mean, we were in bed by 10:30, and then but we were up at 7, 8 o'clock out there on the beach. So it was a good time. So I can't wait to get back to the beach. I love. That was our goal to hit every state before my youngest daughter graduated college, and we've got 38 states in. But every time that we have an opportunity to go to another state, we end up in Florida at a beach. So Gen X says 9 or 10 isn't sleeping in. Yeah, well, there's been a huge change for me because with work, having to be up at 4:30 to be to work and whatnot by 5:30, 5:45. Started work at 6, but going through all this stuff, I haven't had to be on a schedule. And then now, obviously, being unemployed, um, I just got to make sure I don't fall back into that late night routine. And it's really lightning out now. So, all right, let's see what we got going on in the chat. We got 23 people in here, a lot more than I thought we were going to have. So, Moonsprout says magnesium helps me sleep. You have to have it mailed to a FFL dealer near you. What are we talking about? Obviously, a rifle or something like that. So, what are we talking about here? Anyways, Doctor says Double Dog. I'm totally off my schedule. Also, yeah, I'm I'm gonna get back into it with the weather getting nicer out and daylight is longer. I need to maximize my time. So Double Dog 2856, welcome in. Welcome in. Semper Fidelis. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this garden going and doing the things and doing my woodworking and just trying to figure out what I can to make and to sell that could make some extra money until I can figure out this employment thing. So I know I'm going to continue doing these cedar planters, and then I want to make some cutting boards, and then also my flags that um, I'll show you here that I found that I want to do. They're pretty, they're pretty cool. But there's a website that I found. Well, the guy I follow on Instagram, he makes them, and he. Well, here I'll show you this. This is one of the cutting boards that I made. If you can see, that's one of my cutting boards that I made. So, are you guys able to see that? All right. And then I made this little toy chest as well. It's got a sliding drawer on it. And then, let me see here if I can find it. I mean, I've made all kinds of stuff. Here are some of the, like, these are the Christmas trees that I made. That's one. Oops, got my phone. There's a red one. And then I made these. Those are out of cedar pickets. Let's see what else here. Trying to find some more of the things that I did. So, like, I went to the local lumber yard and bought some lumber, and I just I don't know if you can see it or not. I just cut them in the I think they were um, 12 by 12 sheets of wood, and I painted them with whatever background color, and then I stenciled. Like, this one was "Oh Holy Night," and it had the manger scene on it. Just things like that, just to keep. That was how I started uh, my woodworking stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to find it. I'll show you this real quick. I got that. There you go. That was lasered onto a board. And now I'm trying to find this flag that I can't find. And that's why, because there we go. And the stars are there's a stencil that you put on the Union, and then you place the stars. They're glued on, and so it's a 3D effect. So, and then of course my cedar pickets or my cedar planters that I made. I'll show you them, and that'll be the last of my show and tell. There you go. That's just a 16 by 16 cedar planter. 24 by, what was it? Well, I have it written down. I can't think of what it is. 19 by 24, 19 by 37, something like that. So, anyways, what glue do you use on your cutting boards? I use Titebond 3 on everything. I put that shit on everything. Oops, asked that question. It's probably the strongest wood glue that I've found, and also it's the best cleaned up with water. And you can use it for interior stuff and exterior stuff. So I use it. Everything that I've built so far, I've used that, and it's worked good. So let's see what's going on in the chat here. But no, the woodworking is something I'm starting. I'm gonna see where it goes. I don't know what I'm going to do now that I'm unemployed. Um, so we'll just have to see. I do have an appointment. Matter of fact, tomorrow with the plastic surgeon um, to fill this or talk about filling this void in. You can still see the scar pretty good, but and here comes the thunder. So what do we got going? Devil Dog Pepper brings stuff to Bug Out Weekend to sell. No, I'm not going to do that. Um, it's not my bug out. Um, so I thought about doing like Etsy and stuff like that, but they take a cut out of it, and maybe like the cutting boards would be easy to ship on. I could do a little store on my page or whatever. I thought about doing a different. Not that I'm not going to stop doing this channel, but I thought about making a different channel for my woodworking. Um, so I'll let everybody know. And Ohio Valley Prepping says, Devil Dog, I'm looking forward to the pulled pork. Well, I hope everybody likes it. So I've done enough. I'm trying to perfect it. So we'll see. We'll see how it works. Green Grace said, Etsy is greedy as fuck. Used to have shop through them. Yeah, I mean I get it. They got to make their money, but it's the same as Ace says, you got to have vision, adopt me. Yeah. Um, like even YouTube taking 30% of the money that people donate to channels. I mean, that's crazy. So if and when I ever do get monetized or go monetized, um, I would definitely set up something like Venmo or whatever to do it that way. Um, that way they're not making all that money off of me. I I get it, it's their platform, but I'm doing the work and everything. So, anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm almost to 600 subscribers. I think I'm at 594 the last I checked. So, I don't need to put up I don't. First of all, I don't have Cash App. I have Venmo and PayPal. That's it. So. Ohio Valley Prepping and Survival says, how long have you been on YouTube? Well, me personally, I've been on YouTube for many years as far as my channel, Devil Dog Prepper. little over a year. I think January was a year, so a year and a couple months. Um, or no, that's how long I've been making content. So a couple years after that, or before that, I started doing following people. So because I know it's been 3 years that I've been um, with the Vision Preparedness channel, and um, last year at his bug out weekend was what got me started making content. So hopefully that answers your question. Rabbit says, think I'll just bring my Kelly kettle and pop up tent. There you go. I've heard, I've seen them, and I've watched some videos on it. And I think Vision, I think that's what he used at his bug out weekend for the cook-off challenge, I believe. Ohio Valley Prepping says I'm only a weekend. Yeah, well, time goes by quick. I know it seems like yesterday I made my first video, and so what's going on, D Dog?
What's happening, brother?
Just doing a late night chat. That's about it.
Yeah,
So
I
I
I
was
heard you
on.
talking about doing those planters. I've been doing planters for probably 15, 20 years for the local nurseries.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the problem I've ran into with building anything, and I don't know, I'm just getting into it, but the last year I did several craft shows, and I don't know, people just don't want to spend money. My Christmas trees that I made, I well, and the thing about it is people are just like me. They see something on YouTube, they start making it, and then everybody's making it. Well, the first few craft shows that I went to, there was none of them there, and I still had a hard time selling because people don't want to spend their money. Well, why, I'm not talking bad about them, but you're going to a craft show for a reason, you know. And I don't know how many people have stopped and they're like, "Oh, those are cool. You did a really good job." And then I hear people like, "Oh, I could make it for cheaper." Well, then go make it cheaper, you know.
Right.
So
Well, when you did those craft shows, what kind of smalls did you have?
say again.
What kind of smalls?
What do you mean smalls?
Let's say you're doing your big planters. Did you have any small planters for like $10 for like a 5-inch pot?
No, I just started making the planters a few weeks ago. So before that, I was making because I just got into it right around Christmas time. Well, before Christmas, but um, I was making the Christmas trees. I did three different kind. I made just a regular triangle one out of cedar fencing, and I did the green one that I showed. It was the diagonal ones, and then I made the three tiered ones. But it was just something to get my brain going. That's what got me started. My brain surgeon's like, dude, you need to go and um, start using your brain and start, challenge yourself. So that's why I did that. So, but
Yeah,
now that I'm doing the um, cedar cedar planters,
right.
I've only made the 16 by 16s, and then I made a 42-inch long one for somebody, but I haven't really made anything small yet. So
Right. So you're doing who's the Voss? You're doing his plans, huh?
I don't know that name.
That's a YouTuber, bearded Viking woodworking. He does some planners and
Okay.
Matthew Peach.
Yeah, I don't remember who uh I watched so many freaking videos on it, just to get an idea. So but yeah, I'll have to look into to doing the smalls as well. But I mean, giving people a variety, I guess, would be a good option. So, but
Yeah, like I do a bunch of the two-seated picnic table,
hmm
okay? But what I sell out of, like I'll take two of those two-seated picnic tables and set them where people can actually sit in them and enjoy them.
hmm
One out of cedar, the other one out of greenwood. And but I'll make a whole bunch of those little baby picnic tables that has salt and pepper or ketchup and mustard, and then I have the salt, pepper, and ketchup and mustard all in one. And
okay,
then I have the
gotcha.
squirrel picnic tables with it. And I'll sell 150 to 200 of them before I'll sell one fucking table.
Oh wow, yeah.
But those
Yeah.
are $10, $12 a piece. And I made, let's see, last year, a little over 700 of those 4-inch by 4-inch pallets,
Yeah.
for coasters. And I couldn't make them quick enough.
Getting Grace says, Devil Dog Pepper, the price point hits the mark with smalls and they don't have it lugging around something big while they're looking at everything else. Yeah, I'm just getting into it. So, I mean, I probably sold 20. I made 40 of them. I think I sold 20 of them at the craft shows that I did go to. So, I mean, it paid for itself, but, I thought I'd do better. But again, I'm just getting into it. So obviously, there's bigger and better craft shows. There's one in the end of October, Apple Butter Festival. It's a 1 day event, and there's literally 30 to 40,000 people come to this thing. So I'm gonna hopefully I get a tent there or a spot there. So
Yeah, offer a delivery too. Say like if you're within 30 miles of where you live at, you'll
mhm.
give them a delivery option. That way they don't have to haul around the big heavy stuff.
Yeah. Yep, and like with my cutting board, so I made one at this woodworking class that I went to. Um, so I know the basics of it, and I'll try to do better, each time I do it. But like I can easily mail those out for anybody that buys them and whatnot. I mean, obviously they're gonna the delivery of it, the mailing will be more. So, but
Yeah. Also get a hold of if you got like a farm store, like a John Deere dealership or one of them,
yeah,
offer to buy their heavy pallets off of them
yeah,
because through what's that, Alta, ALTA. That's a rental company where you rent heavy equipment from, and they get all their shit from Ching Chong, China.
yeah.
And I'll pay. Let's see, the last pallet I bought it was I think I paid them $1,700 for it, but the whole pallet was mahogany.
Oh, geez.
And the one before that I got from Michigan Cat over there in Novi, I paid him $800, and I just give it to the yard guy. Okay, hey, if you get a pallet, give me a call and I'll come and I'll pay you for it.
Yeah,
And they figure they're going to get like 10, $20 and they'd be happy with that. And then I look at what it is and I figure out what I can make out of it and what I'm going to make. And I'll actually pay them real money for it.
yeah.
The price I give them is like a quarter, maybe a little bit less than what I'd pay at the sawmill.
So there's a lady on Facebook Marketplace that does all that work for you. She sells the pallet boards already cut. I think they're 48 inches long or 42 inches long. And from the pictures, I haven't bought any, and it's only 10-15 minutes away. So I'm thinking about going and buying some to see what quality they are and if they're good. I mean, the pictures that they put on Facebook, I mean, people have built countertops out of them. They've built bar out of them. They've put them on the ceiling. So,
Yeah,
and
we're not talking about the same pallets at all.
okay,
The one that I paid the mahogany one had two 8x8 mahogany runners on it.
okay.
So that's if I went to a sawmill, that would be almost $8,000 for the two of them. They're 22 feet long.
That's crazy that they're using that to ship something on.
Well, you can't ship on oak because it's not strong enough.
Yeah, true.
And
True.
a lot of times, the stuff that comes from overseas, mahogany and teak are everywhere.
Yeah.
And we're dying for that stuff here.
Mm-hmm. Have a good one, J3GS Farms.
Yep. And a buddy of mine, every Saturday we go have breakfast and we drive past a couple factories and we can fill up 2 or 3 pickup trucks with pallets every Saturday.
What state are you in?
I'm in Michigan.
That's what I thought. You said Novi. I know right where that's at.
Right.
I'm just south of you in Ohio.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You go any factory drive or whatever, in the late afternoon, there's always pallets on the side of the road somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. We have a lot of manufacturing. We got all kinds of, we got cat dealers, we got John Deere dealers, and we got all kinds of stuff in within a drive here. So
Right. But the pallets that you pay for are the heavy load pallets.
okay.
And well, one of my buddies, there's this factory that washes pallets out of there every single day, and they pay him $2 a piece to come get them.
Oh wow.
That's how many there's not enough people picking up pallets to make it so that their pile diminishes.
Yeah. Well, at my last employer, I mean they had all kinds of pallets I could have taken, but obviously I don't work there no more, and so. But
Well, all you have to do is call them because questions are free.
yeah. He says he has a cousin that lived in Novi for a while.
Yep. Old Trading Post number 6. That's how you got Novi.
All right. Rabbit says 48 by 44 way is the most common pallet. I used to work for MH Pallet Company.
Yep.
Oops says no pallets left around here. Everybody grabs any wood or metals.
Yep.
That's no joke. Now you guys getting any? You guys are probably getting hammered up there, aren't you?
Yeah, we've been getting a little bit of rain.
I'm just gonna check the weather. It's lightning like crazy out here.
Yeah, well, I'm just glad I know how to swim.
Yeah, I don't see.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to build a bathroom in the basement at the house.
There you go.
And I decided I'm going to do the wall in pallet wood. But
Nice.
I'm going to cut it all to 6-inch to 2 foot, 3-inch increments, 3 inches wide. And I'm going to chamfer all the sides. And then I'm going to laminate all that together and do sheets for the walls.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I went to an auction site. They had a they go around. It's a traveling site, and they go to different places. And they had one up in Monroe, Michigan, at the fairgrounds, and they're only up there once a year. And I bought some tongue and groove boards up there. Now, I honestly I thought I was buying the whole pallet, and no, it was not. So, but long story short, I have 44 pieces, 16-foot long, and I was gonna do all these walls in the basement with it, but obviously I don't have enough. And it pissed me off because the lady's like, "Do you honestly think you could have bought a whole pallet of this for $200 and some dollars?" I said, "It was an auction. You're gonna get what someone for it." But they nowhere in the description did it say anything about you're only getting so many pieces or whatever. So
Right.
whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get as much stuff done around here as I can while I have the time and go from there. So
Yep. And if you have a fence company that installs fences,
yeah,
get with them about you picking up their pallets because most of their pallets have fence pickets in them.
yeah. I
And
can't
they're
believe
the
how expensive those things have gotten. Holy crap.
yeah, but all you have to do is take apart the fence
No,
picket
yeah, I
pallet.
get it, but I'm just saying, to start making these cedar boxes, I went to the store to pick up some of these fence pickets because that's what I seen that how they make them, and I'm like, damn, I put up a 75 by 80 by 100-foot fence in my backyard, and I built it all by piece cedar fence, and
Hmm.
I still had some left over. That's what I made my first couple planters with, but obviously I ran out of those. So welcome in, Irishman.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah, no,
the
I'm all about looking to find stuff to make stuff out of. Especially the cheaper you can get it, that's just that much more money you can make. So
yep, like I did one of the local craft shows, and I had that it like a welcome sign that you can load in different signs in,
yeah,
with either a hanging planter or a planter box at the bottom, and it would store like 3 or 4 different signs on it, and all that stencil work I did for a bunch of different signs, some sarcastic ones and all types of other stuff. All the stenciled plates were gone at the end of the first day, and I still had 3 of those uh, sign things.
wow,
So, and that's when I learned to bring an ass load of smalls and a couple big things and offer custom work.
yeah. I plan on doing that now that I'm into it and have the time to do it. So um, it'll be interesting. Um,
Yep,
I'm excited about it. I know I'm not gonna be able to make a living out of it, but I hopefully I can make some money to offset any future financial issues. So
right. Yep, and the biggest bitch everyone gives me with my stuff is it's cash only.
yeah, well that's I probably could have sold a few more, but I didn't have the ability to do credit cards. And I'm not going to get into that because you got to pay the fees and all that other stuff, and you know, so
Well, most of my life is off of paperwork and everything else.
yeah. Well, and cash is king, and I try to do like we went away for the week. I went to the bank and withdrew money, and I didn't want to use the credit card and all that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, I could have and paid it off, no big deal. But I think everybody as a society, which I find ironic, I was listening to another content creator, and they were talking about this the credit score and how they do all that kind of stuff and everything. Not credit score, uh, social credit score,
Mm-hmm.
and how they want to go with digital currency. And everybody's like, "Oh no, we don't want to do that." So, what do you think a debit card is? That's digital currency. You
Yeah,
know,
literally.
go to the bank. Like if you have, let's say you have $50,000 in the bank, okay? Go to the bank and try to withdraw that $50,000. It ain't gonna happen because the banks don't have $50,000 in their bank anymore.
Yeah, if you'd go to the bank and just want to get 10 grand, it could take 5 to 10 days to be able to get that cash.
So before my brain surgery, I knew what my deductible was gonna be. All right. It was 3,500, but I had already been to the hospital and had to pay for a test, whatever. So I knew that I was gonna have to pay 3 grand. So I went to the bank, pulled out the 3 grand, or was trying to, and the lady's like, "Well, what do you need this money for?" I said, "It ain't none of your damn business. You know, it's my money." And well, I don't know if we have that much. I'm like, "You don't have 3 grand in this big ass bank." She
Yeah.
started making me mad, you know. But I should have messed with her. I think it was Mad Shad told me I should have told her I was going to spend it on cocaine and hookers to see what she would say. But so once I told her I was having brain surgery, then there was no issue. So
Yeah, well, I would have told her I'm getting a dual Prince Albert made out of gold.
there you go. I'm transitioning. You got a problem?
Oh shit! I was with a buddy of mine, and we were up at Wally World. This was a couple weeks ago, and he had to get some transmission fluid. And the the lady checking us out went to school with her and stuff, so she knew she was in trouble as soon as she said, "So you getting some trainee fluid?" And I go, "Yeah, you better not drink that." And she goes, "Why?" I said, "Because that's all those people that are lopping off their wieners and their tits. They've been drinking that and they're transitioning."
Oh, that's funny. I gotta be more quick witted when I have the opportunity like that.
Yeah. You know, like if a guy starts, just walks up to you and starts screaming at you for no reason, plus you don't know him, it's easy to deal with. It's like, okay, who lit the fuse on your tampon?
Yep. Yeah, I know. They were having a conversation on Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, and they were talking about people coming together, and I made a comment. I'm like, I don't see that happening like they did when 9/11 happened. You know, they're,
Right.
they're- and I may be wrong, but I don't remember ever there being this much crazy nut jobs around like there are today. You
Right.
know, uh, it just you have these people who bitched and bitched about gas cars and you should go electric, and now they're freaking firebombing the freaking dealerships that are selling this shit. And I'm like, make up your mind.
Yeah, but we have to go all battery. It doesn't matter that that's worse for the environment than actual petroleum,
Yeah,
for one. For two, that it's all made by slave labor,
yeah.
which is okay. But, but oh, you can't buy his, you have to buy someone else's. That's just stupid.
Remember, when you deposit your money, it becomes a bank's because you agreed to the terms you're loaning the bank. Yeah, when you have direct deposit, or you take and you deposit a check, or you get your paycheck sent to the bank, you become unsecured creditor to that bank. So it, yeah, I tried to uh, I leave as much money in there as I can, and I take out the rest. So
Okay, I'm the opposite. I only put money in there to pay the online bills.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I only keep what I need for my bills, and then the rest of it I take out. You know,
Yeah.
because everything is direct deposited now. So. But
Yeah. Well,
have a
I
good night,
operate.
Sister Marie. Hopefully, you get some good sleep, and your leg and foot is feeling better soon.
Yeah. I only operate in cash.
Yeah, I wish we could go back to those days where that's all it was cash and not these credit cards and debit cards. And it just it blows my mind how lazy America has gotten. I said this on my live on Monday, and it was crazy because I said on my live Monday about this lady at Target who couldn't go into the store to buy her dog food. I was going to Home Depot, so I had to go down the storefronts, and Target's like two doors down. And I saw the Target worker walking out to the parking lot. They have spots for the pickups, and this lady in this SUV was the only one in the vehicle. And here she literally was holding a bag of dog food. It was only like a 5-pound bag. Was bringing it out to the car. Well, I went to Home Depot again today, and that same lady was parked in the spot getting, now she's got a whole cart full of stuff. So I don't know if she's picking up for other people, but either way, it, America, I think COVID really made America lazy.
Or
Lazier, yes.
okay, I had to help you with those last two letters. You didn't get out the first time. Yeah, I've been a lot of different places, and it seems like Americans are more for instant self gratification more than anything else.
Yep. Welcome in, Rum Runner. Yeah, it's I would love to go back to the cash days and which is, I've heard on a lot of other content they talk about bartering, and this is my opinion. I don't think the bartering system will work like everybody thinks it's going to work.
Okay.
It's not like they did back in the 40s and 50s and 60s, back in the day before, that was not about survival. That was just about, you made, you have a cow and you have milk and I have this and we just swap stuff and that's just the way that was called life. When it comes down to survival, I don't see bartering working, the way everybody thinks it's going to.
Well, I have a neighbor that's got a few little dairy cows, and I get my pure unpasteurized milk from him.
Yeah.
And a gallon of milk costs me a quart of green beans. But that's what we've been doing for 20 years.
Yeah. And then you see on the news where that Amish guy, they throw his ass in jail because he was selling his product that he was making. I mean, what has America gotten to where you can't even have a garden and then sell your stuff? Why? Because these big companies aren't making the money. They can't tax it on, it's
Do you,
and it
do
goes
you
it
know
goes
why?
against their control.
Do you know why milk pasteurization became a thing?
No.
The problem was the farmer was out there in the field all day, digging in the dirt and you know getting cow shit all over his hands and doing all the stuff he does. And then he goes in and milks his cows. And then people were getting sick.
Yeah.
And after they started doing a clean work type thing where you have to, clean your hands and you have to wash the udders, the sickness stopped. But they already started the protocol for pasteurization of milk. They can
Yeah.
get rid of it now because they have such clean. The dairy farm, the dairy barn where they do all the milking is so clean you can eat off the goddamn floor.
Yep. Oh yeah. I've seen many videos of. I mean, a lot of that stuff is robotic, and they go in and clean the udders, and these cows live better than we do. So
Right, but in the late 70s, early 80s, down the street, that was a commercial dairy farm, and I worked there. And just walking into the barn, you had to go to the first room and go to the wash station and wash your hands. Doesn't matter if you're doing anything in there or not. If you
yeah,
walk in there, you have to have clean hands.
yep. Well, I know my sister works on a pig farm, and they have to literally go into a sanitized room and shower, and then go into another room, another clean room, and put on their clothes. I mean, for her being a girl, they supply her with the underwear and the bra and the uniform, and then she goes to work, and then opposite coming out, you know.
Right.
But yep. It's just it's crazy, and it's just I have a feeling it's just going to continue to get even worse and worse until it gets to the point where it can't get any worse. So hopefully
Yeah,
not in
well,
our lifetime, but
I'm waiting to see um, what kind of deregulations they're going to be taking out of farming.
okay, expand on that.
Well, you know, um, I don't know. There's so many different directions we can go. Like, go back to promoting cover crops and uh, infield mulching and stuff like that.
Yeah,
To rebuild the soil because we've destroyed it.
yeah. Well, and to think about it, all these farmers, these big farms and stuff like that, the seed that they put into the ground are all modified seeds. They're
No, it's not all modified, but the farmer owns none of it.
well, so they have these seeds that they put into the ground where they can spray Roundup on the field. It doesn't kill the plant; it kills the
Right.
weeds. That's a modified plant. That's a modified seed.
Yes, but that's not all the stuff that they grow.
Yeah,
But the stuff that's set up that'll handle Roundup, they actually have to sign a contract to plant it, and then they get paid so much per acre with the fertilizer subsidy and end product not mattering how much the yield is,
yeah,
as long as they harvest it, and then the one who supplied the seed gets the finished product, and they're not allowed to save any of it for next year's planting. So, and back when our nation was founded, our foreign diplomats, their very first job above everything else is to acquire seed
hmm,
from all different regions that they believe would grow in our land somewhere. And the federal government would give the seed to for free to the farmers, the backyard gardeners, the market gardens, and everything, with a stipulation that they have to save seed for the following year, plus enough to hand to somebody else.
yeah,
And then the Green Company, which is now Green uh, Produce Corporation or something, they're still based out of Maine. That they own American Seed, which is Green and American Seed, and I can't remember the third seed company. Got to, and kept lobbying until they could start patenting seeds and stop the government from giving away free seed.
okay.
So
Now those farmers that have that plant the seeds that are resistant to like Roundup and stuff. I mean, they sell that product to companies that make stuff that
right.
we eat. So when I mean,
Well, let's take something like beans. Okay,
okay,
uh, green beans, dried beans, any beans. If they're GMO, they have to be fully processed,
Okay.
which doesn't mean cut them up and pack them in a can. The canned beans, that you get, even if it's a store brand, are non-GMO green beans. The dried beans you buy to make soups are non-GMO.
Okay.
But if they take and process it into a powder, then it can be GMO beans.
Okay.
And the same thing goes with your corns. GMO corns, 99% of the time, will not hit the general public because that stuff 99% of the time ends up going into ethanol,
All
and
right.
it doesn't even get fed to livestock.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, that I learned something new then. You know, I thought the farmers that grew the stuff sold it to plants that made the food products that we eat, and that's what I was concerned about is we're eating that stuff that has the chemicals in it that are resistant. So
Okay, let's say you get the 15 bean soup from Hearst,
yeah.
which you can buy at Walmart, Myers, Kroger's. All three of them have it. They state in there that the beans are NGO, or non genetically modified. Okay. But it says that the flavor packet may contain genetically modified product.
Okay.
The flavor packet is 100% processed. The beans are dry beans.
Okay. Gotcha.
Let's see, I can take the whole subject and make it as small as we have to.
Yeah. I appreciate that education, man. So something I did not know about.
Yeah, well, a lot of people go on and on. Everything's GMO. No, not everything.
Yeah.
The general public cannot buy, well, nobody can buy genetically modified seed. You can't. You can't buy it. It's impossible.
That's what Rabbit just made that comment. Joe Public
Oh,
cannot purchase GMO seeds.
right.
Yeah.
And a farmer can't buy it either
Okay.
because that's a product owned and patented by the company that hires the farmer basically to plant it and grow it,
Yeah.
weed kill it, fertilize it, do everything.
Well, that's like I said, that's something new I did not know, and um, that's good to know. Then.
See, Chacha loves the 15 bean soup. So do I. Yep, I
Yeah.
throw out that flavor packet. I make my own flavor packet.
There you go. I've purchased quite a bit of that and made some of it, so I do too.
And a good way to check your beans, because I grow quite a bit of dry bean. Let's see, last year to the food pantry, I think I took 1,100 pounds of dried bean to them. But most of my dried beans are actually store bought dried bean that are in the
Okay.
bags. And last year I went to Aldi's, Kroger's, Stifa's, which is a Spartan store, um, Kroger's, Myers, just everybody. I had 8 different manufacturers of dried beans. The only one that didn't grow was the one I got at the dollar store. And it's because it said product of Brazil. Now, if it comes across an American border, any type of produce, it's irradiated
Yeah.
and it will not grow. So I planted 100 of each of them, including the Brazil beans. And out of the Brazil beans, I had 2 that germinated out of 100. And the ones that did the best were actually the Aldi's beans, where I got a 98% germination out of 100. And the Kroger, Myers, and Home Depot, or no, Walmart brand, their store brand, I got 96% germination.
Nice. Now, do you save seeds for the following year from the plants that you have?
Yep.
Okay. And I do too. And this year with all my plants, like I said at the beginning of my show here, my banana peppers and jalapeno peppers were the only ones that did not do very good. Everything else, my tomatoes, I think I'm at like 98% germination. My
Right.
cucumbers are 100%. My beans are 100%. My snap peas are 100%. I did this year my own marigolds, and I have 100% germination on them. So I
Right.
mean, so as far as now, they're all alive. So
Okay.
no, I'm looking at these are from the Dollar Tree.
Right.
They're,
It says American Seed Company on the front.
yep,
Flip it over to the back and tell me who's the manufacturer.
Green Garden Products, Norton. Was it MA? So is that Massachusetts
Isn't MA Maine?
or Maine? Yeah, Maine.
That
Okay.
that's the original green seed company from the
Okay.
1800s.
Woo. I may be losing power. The lights just flickered.
Yeah. Yeah, but with your peppers, your seed starting mix, um, if you're using compost, sift it really good,
So
because
my seed starting mix is this year. I tried it different. Last year I did peat moss, vermiculite, perlite, and worm castings. That was it.
right.
This year I did that cocoa core, and then the vermiculite, perlite, and worm castings.
And I just get the big bale of Pro Mix,
Yeah.
and I have success. But with peppers, I found that when you hydrate your soil, if you do 1 part of hydrogen peroxide to 2 parts water, when you hydrate, it does a great job, and you get most of your peppers to sprout. Plus, I
Okay.
use a heat mat for my peppers.
Yep. So do I. Yep.
And then my first watering, I do 1 part hydrogen peroxide to 5 parts water.
Okay.
And adding that extra oxygen into the soil really helps the peppers actually go. And then after that, a high nitrogen plant food.
1 part. You said 1 part hydrogen peroxide.
Yep, to 2 parts water to moisten the soil out of the gate. And then 1 part H2O2 to 5 parts water for watering it the first time.
All right.
And then if you do in a spray bottle, and it'll only last for about 8 hours, and then it'll just be water. But hydrogen peroxide, 1 part that to 3 parts water. If you start getting a mold or a fungus on top, or even fungus gnats, it'll kill it off in one shot.
All right. Yeah, I tend to bottom water all my
Right,
plants. So
right. And
what was the ratio for the spray bottle to kill anything off?
1 to 3. You can do 1 to 3, 1 to 4. You never want your hydrogen peroxide stronger than 1 part that to 2 parts water. And if you're getting more diluted than 1 to 5, then it really doesn't have much of a effect at all.
Okay. That's good to know. I appreciate that.
And your seedlings and stuff that you have in your grow room or in a tunnel or a greenhouse, it doesn't matter if you do organic fertilizer or chemical fertilizer. It will not transfer to your garden.
Okay.
So, like certain things I'm growing, I run a chemical 10-10-10. And certain other things seem to do better with the Alaska fish fertilizer, which is a 5-1-1.
Mm-hmm.
But the high nitrogen always does good. And your onions, all they need is nitrogen. Don't waste your money on anything else. Just give them straight nitrogen.
Okay.
Well, the only thing you're growing are leaves.
Nice. Hey, VP, welcome in, brother. Vision's tired. I'm just learning here. I'm getting some good advice. Waiting for the power to go out because it looks like the storm is finally hitting us. So it's all red.
Yeah, well, just to let everyone know, I've been gardening and canning for over 50 years.
Good deal.
And I really have a problem canning over that thing inside the house. I like my fire outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I do it the way my grandma taught me.
Let's see here. Where are we at here? I'll have to look it up later. All right.
You have to
The
look
water
at what?
bath. Oh, I was looking for a site here. Vision said, so water bath or pressure canning?
All I do is I water bath. That's all I do. Well, okay, I water bath. I neckline can, I steam can, and I hot can. Like
Okay.
all your tomato products, if you prepare it right and you have your pH set where you need it, you can just throw that straight into your jar, super, super hot. And if
Yeah.
you have your cold or room temperature jar on a towel that's stacked up 3 or 4 thick, so it's not on the cold counter, you can pour hot liquid into a cold jar and it's not going to crack it or nothing. You just put the lid on it, you tighten that down really good, flip it upside down on another towel and walk away from it in 15 minutes, flip it back and it's sealed.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Well, my grandma was Hungarian.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chacha says, never thought of canning over open fire.
Yep. And if you want to try canning over an open fire, I hate recommending a big store, but the Walmart, you have to go online, 21 or 22 quart stainless steel canner with a glass top is like $25. And at $25 for that instead of getting the $60 ball one, if you end up ruining your first one over an open fire, it's no big deal.
Good information. Vision wants to know how long do you hot or your water bath beef?
Well, it depends what you're putting in with it. If you're making like a stew with potatoes and carrots and stuff like that, um, let's see, if I'm doing a pint, that's 1 teaspoon of vinegar in with it. If I'm doing a quart, then it's 2 teaspoons or 1 tablespoon, and that, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours.
Okay.
But the thing is, when you're in your kitchen, you're limited pretty much to 2 canners, and that's what most stoves will handle. Outside, you're not limited. Like the one grate that I have over the fire, I can do 6 canners at a time. And if I want to do more canners, all I have to do is start another fire and throw another grate out. I have 6 grates here because my neighbors come over and we make a big weekend of it. And the most canners I've ever ran at one time successfully is 11. And the best production I've ever had, my 1 day record is 432 jars.
Oh, wow.
But I do 5,000 jars a year because of bartering with, food, and because I have 20 people in my extended family.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. That's a
Right.
lot. That's a lot of cans.
Yep. And Cha-Cha, bless you for not water bathing me. Good, because it's your kitchen, your rules.
Well, my question is people have been canning for a long time.
Yes.
Well before they ever came out with a pressure canner.
That's debatable because the pressure canner is coming up on 200 years old.
Okay. So then why would people not use, okay, so why do they recommend doing high acidic foods and or like meats and stuff like that in a pressure canner versus hot water bathing?
With it, I don't know. I've never ever had a problem water bathing. I'm going to have, for the amount of volume I have, I do have 2 or 3 bad seals a year.
Okay.
And the first rule is if it doesn't look right, you don't eat it.
Yep.
Second rule is if it doesn't smell right, you don't eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need any more rules than that?
Yeah. Very true. Hey, Metal Spawn, welcome in. Most of Europe water bath cans. Yeah.
Yep. Hey, I'm going to go grab a couple of jars, and they'll probably make Cha-Cha lose her shit.
Food is always changing. Soil nutrients, all kinds of things are changing. Yeah.
Okay, chicken noodle soup. Chicken noodle soup.
Looks good.
And the other thing you're not supposed to do, here's chicken and rice soup.
Very nice.
Chicken. You're not supposed to do that. The government will be very mad if you do that.
Well, I guess that's where my question was earlier, because they tell you not to hot water bath meat and other vegetables and stuff, that you're supposed to water or pressure can them. So
Right.
that's what I was asking about that. So
Yeah, like the Amish, they can the green beans and carrots. Now, if you're just adding water to them or some sort of a broth or whatever, then you're going to be doing the canning for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you add a little bit of vinegar to it, then you can drop the canning down to 2 hours.
All right. Gray says also something to consider in SHTF. You won't have 4 hours worth of propane to waste when you can get it done in 90 minutes max.
Yeah, but the difference is I can do 12 canners where somebody has like, well, I do have one of those chef mate dual burner propanes for when I'm outside doing my pressure canning. There is things that I pressure can. And my favorite thing to use a pressure canner for is when somebody brings me their old laying hens because they're too tough to eat. But if you take them and you pressure cook them with everything you need to make a stock or a broth or whatever in it, you have your stock when you're done, plus you've tenderized the meat and it's just fallen off the bones and it's ready to go into a jar.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, I know this year I'm definitely going to be upping my canning process. So last year the garden didn't. I mean, it provided a bunch, but with just having brain surgery and recovering, I wasn't able to collect as much as I wanted to. So this year I'm hoping that everything, knock on wood, is on its mends, and I'll be able to do everything that I want to do as far as that goes. So, and now that I got my freeze dryer out of the box, I'm gonna test that out as well. And Moonsprout, you're absolutely right. Knowledge is power. Absolutely.
Yep, and most of my recipes are recipes that I've been doing for almost 50 years.
Good. Well, I enjoy this conversation. I'll have to. Uh, do you have contact information, D Dog? I looked on your channel. You didn't have nothing on there. So, um, if you have like an email or something and don't want to give it out, that's fine. On my page, I have my page's email. If you want to send me an email, because I have other questions and I'd like to have another conversation like that and bring you on and talk more about this stuff because it's interesting and like someone had said earlier, about learning. I think it was Grit and Gray said, we're learning from each other here. So
Yeah, I can't remember whose live it was that I was on, but I was actually water bath canning my green beans. Or no, my baked beans.
all right, let's see.
So you like that email address?
Yeah.
Yeah. It no, but it's the way it's spelled.
Okay. Good to go.
Yeah, because I use mail.com.
Okay. Gotcha. Let's see what the chat's got going on here. Nothing but love for her folks. Everybody has their own way of doing things. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, like I say,
100%.
your kitchen, your rules.
And like somebody has said, you do you, and that's fine. We can meet in the middle, and
Yeah, like people tell me, "Oh, you can't plant that next to that." I go, "Well, my garden, my rules. Too bad."
Absolutely. Tactical Muffin Top says you rock Discord. I I've been on it. I have not done anything. Hell, I got a freaking Instagram, a Devil Dog Instagram page that I've put a little bit of stuff on, but I've neglected it. So I got to figure out um, how to get that instituted into my YouTube page. So,
Right. And I'm a firm supporter and believer in doing fermenting. Um, Fermented salsa is great if you like salsa.
mhm.
Fermented salsa actually promotes proper gut health, and I
Yep.
recommend it highly.
I want to learn how to make sauerkraut.
Oh, it's easy to make sauerkraut.
I love sauerkraut. Oh,
It's so easy to make. All you have to do is piss off a German. You get a sauerkraut.
so I got several of these, that I want to. They're just decorations right now, So I want to put them to good use. But
Yep.
they're so
Blue
good.
Butterfly will hook you up on making sauerkraut. It's pretty easy.
Okay. Yeah, I was on another content creator's channel, and I'm sure most people know this person, and I'm not going to mention a name because it is what it is. But normally you could ask questions and they answer them, but this live was talking about a book, and I didn't know that they weren't taking questions, and I asked the question, and the person was kind of rude, and I'm like, well, I'm done here. So, um, you know, uh, and they're very knowledgeable about fermenting and stuff like that. So, but anyways, yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many things I want to learn. There's so many things I want to learn more about. Like I'm and I think Grit and Grace said it. Learning, educating yourself is good. And I want to learn more about everything that I want to do. And gardening is one. I want to learn about like fermenting stuff, um, because I want to. I'm on like 6 different medications, 2 blood pressure, cholesterol. Um, I'm on a thing for arthritis, which because of my brain surgery, I was off of it, and I've learned that I can be without it. But I want to get off of all that stuff, and I want to
Okay.
go more living more holistic lifestyle and learning the different tinctures and stuff like that to be able to do that.
Okay. Your blood pressure's too high.
Yes.
Um, Beetroot and cinnamon will drop your blood pressure.
Okay.
Eat it regularly, and it'll help you a lot. Arthritis, 750 milligrams of stinging nettle every day. And
Stinging what?
stinging nettle, you can buy that right at Amazon. 750 milligram gel caps. Until you can get out in your yard, because stinging nettle isn't really doing too hot right yet.
Yeah.
And that's in the mint family, so mint teas and stuff will help you with it too.
Whose Discord is that?
And for fermenting, a channel I really don't care for because they're too much gloom and doom. Doug and Stacy, because Stacy gets really into the fermenting thing, like
Mm-hmm.
super heavy. And for headaches and curing the common cold, uh, willow bark tea, and the best YouTube for that is a channel called Prepsteaders, and that lady is really nice on that.
Yeah, I want to learn more about that and doing stuff. I mean, I got some books that I purchased to learn how to do some things, but the more I learn from more people, is good. So yes, garlic. I love garlic, but
Stinging nettle, you dry it out and you make it a capsule. And when you heat it, all the stingers are gone.
yeah. Um, who
You
was it that
you can also take the stem and make twine out of it.
the Mac Life? They live in like Mississippi, I think, but they have their own homestead, and his wife does. They make their own capsules and everything. They try not to do any medicines from the store. They make their own. They grow their own stuff to make their own tinctures. They grow their own stuff to make their own medicine, their own capsules. I mean, she even had a capsule machine where you can make your own capsules.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I got that.
I'd like to learn how to do all that stuff, and so.
Like
But no, I'm glad I did this live stream because I've learned a lot. I've learned that I was uh, not on the right thinking on stuff like the farming and stuff with the GMO stuff, and I'm learning stuff about uh, holistic lifestyles, and it's been good. Yes, we made some oregano oil this year. I did the garlic and honey um, this last year as well. So I'm starting, and that's the battle is to get started. So
Yep, and a lot of the stuff you can get right at loc.gov. That's the Library of Congress.
okay, yeah,
And
that's one of the reasons how to grow onions. There you go.
yep. And what year is that from?
1888.
There you go. And that's
Burpee.
yep,
Oh,
Washington Atlas Burpee, the founder of Burpee Seeds.
huh. I'll be damned.
Well, here's his book on a poultry farm
There you go, Vision.
and root crops to feed your livestock, cabbages and cauliflowers. How to grow a kitchen garden.
Wow.
Strawberries profit. Tells you everything about it.
Now, where do you get all those books at?
Library of Congress.
Okay.
And
You can buy stuff from them, or do you just print it out and?
it's free.
I know, but how do you get those books? Do you print them out, or do they send them to you?
I print them out
Okay.
because I have the thing for doing these kind of books.
Are the spirals on it? Yeah, that's why
Yep.
I asked. So that's awesome. These books are around 1,000 plus on Amazon or eBay, and it's crazy because it's free on the Library of Congress.
Yep.
That's nuts. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that you came up on the live stream because I've definitely learned a lot today. I've learned more today than I have in a while. So, Grit and Grace says, "Burpee, the ones that like to charge you $7 for a pack of seeds."
Now, Luke at MI Gardner, I met him. Super, super down to earth, laid back young man. And the way he is on his YouTube channel is the same way he is in person.
Wow.
And
Well,
you can't beat it. Everything he has is heirloom or hybrid, and it's $2 a seed pack.
Now, who's that?
Luke from MI Gardener.
Okay.
Yep, MI Gardener is a great YouTube channel, especially for our area because we're both in 6A.
See, this is good. I'm glad that I did that. Yeah, I see you dropped a link. I'll have to. I'll make sure I go back and get all this stuff. So I'll
Yep,
end up
and
having
a
to rewatch
lot
it.
of people have their favorite places to get seeds. I recommend Southern Exposure Seed Exchange. They're out of Virginia. That's some of the best seeds I've ever had is from them.
Southern Exposure.
Yep. Yeah, Southern Exposure Seed Exchange.
Okay, got it. Well, yeah, I mean, this is one of the reasons why I started making content is to be able to help people and also to learn. I hope that people are learning from me as much as I can give out, and I'm definitely taking in more than what I'm giving out. But I mean, I'm learning too. So
Yep, and save your old pill bottles. They're great for holding seeds, plus they're UV resistant. Yeah, these seeds right here are called Cherokee Cornfield,
okay,
and there's a whole bunch of different seeds. You don't separate the colors; you just replant them.
nice.
Yeah, the large pill bottle will hold 700 bean seeds.
Huh. Wow. Well, I've definitely thrown away my fair share of pill bottles, so I'll have to save them from now on.
Yeah, like the nitroglycerin bottle, the real small one. Um, I can store 2 to 3 years of lettuce in one of them.
Okay, nice. Yeah, they're very small.
Yeah,
Now, Rabbit's saying the files are not free on the government site.
yeah, right. I know I didn't pay a dime for them.
Uh-oh, Blue Butterfly saying, do you have an email, Rabbit? Yeah, that's no joke. It's picking up here too, Maverick. And I know you don't live that far from me, so. Uh, amber and brown colored containers will help block out most light. All right. See? Still learning. That's awesome. I would have never thought about saving those bottles. And some of them, um, I got pretty big bottles for different pills. So usually I try to get them 90 days at a
I don't have
time.
a wrench here. Yep. Devil Dog, I dropped the link
All right.
that they can go to and they go through all the burpee books.
Well, type something in the chat and I'll, if you can.
See, I'm a good Marine. I follow directions. Did I do as I was told?
You did. There. And I got standard moderating rights.
Woo! Okay. I'm going to drop that Library of Congress for you.
All right. I know what you're talking about. I said write something in there, and you did. Smart ass. That's good.
Yep. And if you're gonna use a thumb drive, use a thumb drive, people.
Oh shit, that's funny.
Yep, my youngest gave it to me. I don't know, she was 8 or 9. She got it off of that Santa thing at school.
Yeah,
So still my favoritist.
that's awesome. Well, I'm gonna go about 10 more minutes, hit that 2 hour mark, and then we'll call it good. So, Asa, thanks for the Library of Congress link.
Yeah, there's so many good resources out there that no one knows about. If you want to know about anything political, as far as EOs and any of that other stuff, constitutions for the states, um, I recommend ballotpedia.org. That's a great one.
Holy crap. This storm is huge.
Yeah, we had our huge storm 2 days ago. We had 80-mile-an-hour winds.
Man, this is like all bright orange and red. We got a tornado watch. Oh, tornado severe thunderstorm warning now. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Just on the strawberry plants, I sell about 1,000 of them every year.
Now,
That,
what kind of strawberries?
I have no idea. Um, they originally came from Sparta, Illinois, and
Okay.
moved up here in 1964, and it's the same ones.
So I got two raised beds, two different kinds of strawberries. One I have June berries, and then the other one I don't know the name of it, but they produce strawberries throughout the season. The other ones they all produce right away. So
Right. Yeah, these are one-hit wonders, but the strawberries are so big.
yeah, Grace is trying to tell everybody to go over to somebody else's YouTube live. Just busting your balls. Well, can't bust your balls. You're a female, so
Well,
just
they have inner balls.
just giving you shit.
Yeah, they have inner balls. I was actually told that once. I have inner balls. Yeah, whatever.
This is the storm that's coming through.
Cool. So let me guess, you're close to 75?
Yep. Yep.
Yep. I probably drive past you 3 or 4 times a year.
Well, now that I got your email address, we can talk more offline. And I don't give out too much information. You know how it is. So OPSEC, but
Well, that's why I went through and I burned 5 of my phone numbers, and they all have new numbers now.
there you go. Rabbit says he has Ozark strawberries and June bearing strawberries here. Yeah. Right on it. I-75. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I got a small tobacco farm in between Big Bone Lick State Park and Rabbit Hash, Kentucky.
Yeah. Oh, going to pull mine. They're never gonna get big enough. What, your strawberries?
Well, if they're not getting big enough, then it's all soil.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check out that Library of Congress and see about getting that stuff, start printing that stuff out. So, of all the places I found ink printer or printer ink at Kroger's, they had it on a clearance, and it just so happens to be for my printer, and it was like half off. So I was less. It was more than half off. So normally it's like $44 for like black ink or colored ink, and I got it for like $18 each. So I picked up as many as I had, so that way I could start printing stuff. I print recipes off all the time. Anytime I see a meal that looks good or sounds good, I'll print it off. I'll try it. If I like it, I keep it and I file it away. If I don't like it, it goes into the shredder. So
Yep. Yeah, I found, well, if I get my 3 colors and my black, it cost me about $170. But if I buy a refurbished model of the same printer that I have, it's $118 and it comes with free ink.
so you
So
just keep buying new printers.
yeah, and I give them to my buddy. He scraps them.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. So he may scrap me. He may sell them. I don't know.
Vision everything is stupid costly. Yep. Is it storming down there in your neck of the woods, Vision? I appreciate it, Rabbit. You got my email address.
Yep. How to Grow a Kitchen Garden is the one that I recommend that you start with.
Yeah.
Yep. And let's see if I can figure out how many pages it is. It's about 200 pages.
Oh shit. Front and back.
Yeah. No, full page count. 198 pages in the book.
Oh wow.
But it's pretty big printing.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, I definitely have to. I just have the cheapo Walmart Canon printer. You know, nothing major. So if I'm gonna get into printing more stuff, maybe I need to invest in a better printer, or maybe this one will work. I don't know. So Grace said, "Just let the dogs out." Who let the dogs out?
Yeah,
It really
Grace
got humid here in the last hour. Yeah, it it was like 50 degrees today, and then it got up to 62. It jumped down to 52, and now it's back up to 62.
Yeah.
So, all right, folks, it's going on a 2 hour mark. I appreciate everybody sticking around. I didn't think I'd have this many people in here, and definitely didn't think I would be having this great conversation with D Dog and everybody in the chat. I appreciate it. I've learned so much today, and I hope everybody else has too. And we will have to do this again. Go ahead.
Yep. My final thought if you don't know your rights, you're being cornholed.
And just like that, he's gone. But anyways, like I said, I appreciate everybody for stopping in tonight, and I hope that you take away some good knowledge. Yep, absolutely, Vision. Great information, and we will do this again. I will have D Dog back on, and until then, everybody stay safe, stay vigilant, stay prepped.